Rosie became my guide, my first true friend in this new world. She didn't push or prod. She simply offered a hand to hold. "Take your time," she would say. "Your journey is your own." She invited me to a small community gathering, a safe space where people from all walks of life shared their stories. The idea was terrifying, but the thought of going with Rosie made it feel possible. She was the bridge between my old life of fear and a new life of possibility. Meeting her was not just a coincidence, it was the beginning of everything. She was the first person to see me, the real me, even before I could see her myself. With Rosie's gentle encouragement, I took my first tentative steps toward discovering the person I was meant to be. One day, she took me to a market filled with vibrant fabrics and colorful clothes. Back home, my wardrobe was a sea of gray, blue, and black, a uniform of invisibility. But here, there was just this rainbow of possibilities. Rosie held up a simple, soft, floral blouse. "Just for fun," she said, her smile reassuring. In the tiny dressing room, I held the fabric against my skin. It was just a piece of cloth, but it felt like so much more. It felt like a whisper of a promise. My hands trembled as I slipped it on. Looking in the mirror, I saw something new. I still saw Ray's face, his anxious eyes, but I also saw a glimpse of someone else. The soft fabric and the bright colors changed something. It was as if a tiny part of my soul, long dormant, was finally allowed to peek through. I didn't buy the blouse that day. It was too big a step, but the seed was planted. The experience of wearing something that felt right, even for a moment, was a revelation. It was the first time an article of clothing felt like an expression of myself, not a costume for someone else. Rosie also introduced me to the art of makeup. She brought over a small bag with just a few things: some mascara, a little blush, and a tinted lip balm. She didn't try to transform me or give me a makeover. Instead, she showed me how these tools could be used to highlight, to enhance, not to hide. "It's just for you," she explained, "to help you see on the outside what you feel on the inside." Sitting in front of the mirror, I hesitantly applied a little blush. The touch of pink on my cheeks was like a secret smile, a small act of defiance against the drab world I had come from. These moments were small, but they were monumental. Each one was a step away from the shadows and into the light, trying on a dress, adding a swipe of lip balm, letting my hair grow a little longer. These were not just physical changes. They were acts of courage. They were me, slowly and carefully, beginning to build a new person from the inside out. I was learning a new language, the language of self-expression. And with each new word I learned, each new color I dared to wear, my confidence grew. I was no longer just pretending. I was exploring, discovering, and becoming. The name Ray had always felt like a label on a package that didn't belong to me. It was short, hard, and masculine. As I began to see a new person emerging in the mirror, a softer, truer version of myself, the name felt more and more wrong. It was a remnant of a life I was leaving behind, a ghost that haunted my new beginning. I knew I needed a new name, one that felt like home, one that sang the song of my heart. But choosing a name for yourself is a strange and deeply personal task. It felt impossibly big, like trying to capture the entire sky in a single word. I spent weeks thinking about it, trying on different names in my head, like I had tried on clothes at the market. I would whisper them to myself when I was alone, testing how they felt on my tongue, how they resonated in my soul. Some felt too fancy, others too plain. None of them clicked. I shared my struggle with Rosie one afternoon as we sat by the river. She listened patiently, as she always did, and then she said something simple but profound. "Don't search for the name," she advised gently. "Let the name find you. It's already inside you, waiting for you to be quiet enough to hear it." Her words stayed with me. I stopped trying so hard, stopped searching through lists and websites. Instead, I just listened. I listened to the quiet moments, to the feeling of the sun on my skin, to the joy I felt when I looked in the mirror and saw her, the real me, smiling back. And then one day, it just came to me. It wasn't a lightning bolt or a loud announcement. It was a gentle whisper, a soft and beautiful sound that felt like a perfect fit. Raya. It was close to my old name, a nod to the journey that had brought me here, but it was also different. It was feminine, it was light, it was me. The first time I said it out loud to another person was to Rosie. I think my name is Raya, I said, my voice barely a whisper. She looked at me, and her eyes filled with so much warmth and acceptance that it took my breath away. It's a beautiful name, Raya, she said, and hearing her say it, hearing it exist outside of my own head, was the most liberating moment of my life. A dam inside me broke, and tears of relief and joy streamed down my face. I wasn't Ray anymore. I was Raya. And for the first time, my name was not a mask, but a mirror reflecting my true self. With a new name and a growing sense of self, the world began to look different. Or maybe I was just looking at it with new eyes, Raya's eyes. The fear that had been my constant companion began to recede, replaced by a quiet, steady confidence. Walking down the street was no longer a terrifying ordeal. I started to hold my head a little higher, my shoulders a little less hunched. I was no longer trying to disappear. I was learning to take up space, to exist in the world as the woman I was always meant to be. The journey was far from over, but I was finally on the right path. The biggest change was the one that happened internally. The constant war inside my head, the battle between who I was and who I was pretending to be, finally quieted down. There was a sense of peace, a feeling of rightness that settled deep within my bones. Waking up in the morning was no longer a chore. I would look in the mirror, and for the first time, I didn't see a stranger. I saw Raya. I saw my own eyes looking back at me, filled not with anxiety, but with hope. There were still moments of doubt, of course, but they were no longer a tidal wave. They were just small ripples on a calm sea. This inner peace began to radiate outward. I made more friends through the community center Rosie had introduced me to. I found a family of choice, a group of people who understood my journey because they were on their own. We shared stories, laughter and tears. We supported each other through the hard days and celebrated the small victories. For the first time in my life, I felt a true sense of belonging. I was not just tolerated, I was accepted, celebrated, and loved for exactly who I was. This feeling of community was the anchor I had been searching for my entire life. The emotional release was immense. It was the letting go of a lifetime of secrets, of fear, of pretending. It was the freedom to just be. I realized that my journey wasn't about changing who I was, but about finally allowing myself to be who I had been all along. The woman in the reflection was not a new person I had created. She was the person who had been locked away inside, waiting patiently for me to find the key. And now that she was free, she was ready to live. The confusion and pain of my past had not disappeared, but they had transformed into strength, empathy, and a deep appreciation for the simple, beautiful gift of being true to oneself. Today is March 27th, 2026. Looking back on the boy named Ray feels like remembering a character from a book I read a long time ago. I feel a deep sense of compassion for him, for his loneliness and his quiet struggles. I wish I could go back and tell him that it will all be okay, that his pain will one day lead to incredible joy. But I know that his journey was necessary. Every moment of confusion, every tear of frustration led me here, to this moment of peace. Thailand is my home now, but my true home is the one I have finally found within myself. My life is not a fairy tale. There are still challenges, still moments of insecurity. The world is not always a kind and accepting place, but the difference now is that I face these challenges as Raya, with a foundation of self-love and the support of a community that understands me. I am no longer a ghost drifting through someone else's life. I am the main character of my own story, and I am writing each new chapter with intention and with hope. I work part-time at the community center now, helping others who arrive lost and scared, just as I was. I want to be for them what Rosie was for me. A hand to hold, a sign that they are not alone. My journey was about finding a place to belong, but I discovered that belonging is not about a location on a map. It's about finding a home within your own heart. It's about accepting and loving yourself so completely that you carry your home with you wherever you go. The peace I feel now is not a passive thing. It's an active, vibrant joy that comes from living an authentic life. It's the simple pleasure of waking up and knowing that the face in the mirror is my own. It's the freedom of using my own voice to speak my own truth. My story is just one of many, a single thread in a beautiful, complex tapestry of human experience. But it is my story, and I am proud of it. I am proud of the scared boy who was brave enough to take a leap of faith, and I am proud of the woman he allowed himself to become. For anyone out there who feels invisible, who feels like they are pretending every day, I want you to know that hope is real. Your true self is waiting for you. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and know that you deserve to live a life filled with color, joy, and peace. My name is Raya, and I am finally, wonderfully home.